Back everybody to QuakeCon 2015, and man, we have had such a day already here for the dual portion of the TriMaster Tournament.
Surprises everywhere.
Surprises everywhere, a lot of just awesome moments, a lot of upsets, and I'm really glad that this production table is the size that it is because I had so many just moments of just wanting to flip it over.
Yeah, there's been some absolutely crazy times, including like the Cypher Talks and the Zorak War Rapha, which was one of the most entertaining series of the day so far. We are going to be moving into DaHanG versus Rapha, though.
Fidgeting around like Sessler here.
They both have been successful getting victories beforehand. They are basically on the other side where Cypher and Evil are also lurking, trying to win this division. But for the overall TriMaster Championship, whoever wins this series is going to have, well, particularly DaHanG, is going to have a really good chance out of winning it for break. So a lot of pressure on DaHanG at the moment to deliver and secure $8,000 for his team.
Yesterday in CTF, break was broken a little bit, and you had your moment to boast about it, but they still had a really consistent play in TDM as well, so they've been a well-rounded team.
Was it when the Americans lost
Yeah, it was about that time.
Is it when the Europeans beat the Americans
at
CTF?
However, break still maintained a very high
quite
point
a big
value.
win as well.
Yes, it was. Very good for you. But Break still has a great chance here, and it means that all the pressure's on DaHanG. We already saw him a week ago in, not land circumstances, surely. It's a very different atmosphere here. But DaHanG's been playing well today. Rapha lost a map and almost two maps against Zorak. Who then lost against DKT in the next round, which was weird.
Rapha did look, Zorak lost to DKT?
Zorak lost to DKT.
Wow, that's really surprising, actually. But I know that Chance is actually doing very well against his previous opponent, but then Rapha crushed Chance.
Right.
So maybe Rapha is warming up really nicely now into the sort of land duel rather than land any other game mode. But DaHanG's been looking solid the whole time, really, and we should be able to get the game going any moment right now as they are on their first map.
It's interesting that you say that. Rapha's, he's a very consistent player, and I never really have to resort to saying, he's warming up very often with Rapha. We'll see if that's true. Here we go.
We're getting into the first map here in round 3 of the QuakeCon 2015 TriMaster Tournament. DaHanG, Rapha, Lost World. I am on DaHanG as we go on from here with the rocket launcher spawn and the yellow. He's going to get the mega straight away, and he might see if he can, get his jump set and get the lightning gun. Just a little bit of a wobble there.
A little bit of an auto hop, got to turn that off. But DaHanG's going to be in the back quarters, just throwing out one rocket. He hasn't really established himself in the mid-map. He had that initial rocket launcher, but he's allowing Rapha to kind of get in here and move towards LG side. But man, here comes the fight right now. It's going to be a big fight over the red armor, just enough to shove Rapha back in that hovel and allow DaHanG to get another pickup of armor. Just very nice bisecting the map. DaHanG taking everything but one yellow armor right now. In fact, that yellow armor's still up. We should see Rapha go for it pretty soon, allowing DaHanG plenty of time to get a free mega.
That was a very dominant start, actually, from DaHanG. The damage he did with the lightning gun, I mean, his aim looks on point at the moment. Rapha was shooed away from the mid-sector of the map, and he's extremely weak at the moment. DaHanG might try and look and get himself a kill at the moment, pushing into the LG area. That's 1-0 for DaHanG. Well, versus what you could call, in a way, his arch nemesis.
Exactly. I was going to say that they've played together once or twice before, and they know the stakes here on Lost World. They know, all right, he's got this, I've got that. The fight is almost cursory at that point.
I didn't actually see the map picks, but I would imagine this is Rapha's pick, and then we're going to have Furious Heights open for DaHanG. That's usually the typical way that these guys go about doing that.
All right, so we've got DaHanG here down below, doing a decent amount of damage with the plasma, but we're going to be seeing him go for the LGYA. It's going to be important for him to drop down here and be ready for at least a little bit of damage on the red armor, but he's not getting a whole lot right now. Even through the teleporter, Rapha gets out of there completely free. DaHanG kind of banging his head against the desk just for a moment. He didn't lose too much, though. He was just pretty much thwarted completely. But I like this nice little pause here. Just begging Rapha to come around that corner. Makes me nervous, though, because he's giving a position on Mega and Red right now.
He's giving up quite a lot, actually, not going to center map. He's just worried that everything we take. And he's like, all right, Rapha, you can go 200-200, but maybe this lack of intel is going to give DaHanG a trap. But not going up the bounce pad or anything.
Those shards are too tempting right now, and this yellow armor might be trappable. Oh, there it is, and DaHanG actually gets the damage out of there completely free.
That was a chunky rocket, actually. Did 81 damage. Now hanging around by the Mega, maybe he's going to look to secure this. So although DaHanG lost control for a moment without giving up a frag, he might be able to reacquire it any moment. 1 second and it's up. So Rapha, a very aggressive move, he gets popped up by rockets.
Out of rockets now. And DaHanG's just got to do the rest of this damage with LG, but he's got that Mega to fall back to at will. In fact, if he waits a few seconds longer, he can then push very cleanly over to red armor, and coming over the top, he might well be doing that. Yep, Rapha's going over for the LGYA, and that gives a clean break to DaHanG for the red armor. Nice.
Yeah, clean exit there for DaHanG as well. I thought DaHanG was going to get that frag actually on Rapha last time round. He's doing a considerable amount of damage, and Rapha giving up so much free damage to DaHanG through the rockets, it was some very impatient play from Rapha.
DaHanG had to know now that we've got split timing between the Mega and the red. We had that Mega on the pad for such a long time, but the timing is actually less important here than the position compared to something like Furious Heights, and there's still the potential for DaHanG to go convert for that red armor, but DaHanG seems to have kind of lost track of where Rapha's moving from.
DaHanG's playing a very unusual game. I think he's far more focused. Oh, let's have a look at the fight first. DaHanG just getting some good LG damage, and they almost break away immediately. I feel like DaHanG is really playing Rapha rather than the map at the moment. He's not kind of playing with the fundamentals of get the items, go around and try and get a kill. He's giving up items at strange moments, and he's starting to taking them again as well.
And this is a Mega fight that, okay, yeah, DaHanG's giving this up quite quickly.
Yeah, he lost that fight quite in a nasty way, so he's going to try and get himself items. Oh, the direct rocket from Rapha! Was not expecting that, and surely enough, nor was DaHanG.
Gotta make those armor hitboxes a little bit bigger, maybe. A little bit. Oh, here comes Cooler to watch. Nice. But we're almost at our halfway point, and one-on-one. This is really the Lost World that I love to see. But Rapha right now looking very well stacked up on armor, doing a little bit of an RJ to make his way up to the LG, and just taking a look at where DaHanG isn't. He's just scouting the map right now, trying to corner him, but he sees DaHanG get away with that lower YA.
It's a shame for DaHanG, because I really liked what he was doing. It's just when it came to the fight, he just simply wasn't ready for it. DaHanG, though, he's going to come through the corridor. Rapha doesn't get too much rocket damage, but that one was decent. This follow-up was perfect. That's 2-1 now. DaHanG decided to re-engage, and that was just the worst decision at that point.
That leaves DaHanG with very little to farm for here. And yeah, he's evading out that yellow armor. That was a really nice jump, by the way. That was kind of slick. But DaHanG doesn't die there, actually. He's still got a little bit of health left over, but he's really crippled at this point, allowing Rapha some comfort as he moves from Mega to red here. Yeah, DaHanG can't really afford to show up. He's going to be able to take away that LGYA, and Rapha's actually...
Easy red.
Yeah,
Easy red.
Okay.
Stabilizing it. He's got the lead, so he doesn't need to panic about too much.
Looked for a second like he was going to delay the red, trying to bait DaHanG out, but you know, he's got, at least in Lost World, a one-frag league can be comfortable. Yeah. And Rapha doesn't want to give it up.
I mean, for Rapha right now, it's not about building opportunities for himself, it's about denying opportunities
exactly
that DaHanG wants to create. And nice the rocket that worked from DaHanG. Again, is he going to come in with the LG? DaHanG trying to back off onto the Mega.
Wow.
He will make it. Both players have similar stacks with that 50 health, and might have cut the difference. DaHanG with the LG again. Rapha has to push out.
I have to go back to what you were saying earlier. DaHanG's definitely playing a different game here on Lost World, and when you're playing against Rapha, you really have to develop your own rulebook. But Rapha's going to be up top here. 4 minutes left to go. One frag between them. Rapha getting a little bit of pain off of DaHanG with the grenades, taking away another red armor. But there's the plasma stuffing him back into the teleporter. Oh my god.
Rapha's
that was an insane amount of blue ballage there.
Blue ballage.
Yeah.
Whoa, DaHanG, he just charges through the corridor. Rapha not ready for a little smile there from DaHanG. He's going to push into the center. Rapha did as well, and it's a freebie over here for DaHanG. He's got himself the lead again.
He had to take a lot of damage for that fight, though, so he's got to recover here pretty quickly.
This is absolutely fine for him, getting the red, and this is kind of exit that he's been using quite a lot so far.
Being really loud on the YA, and expecting Rapha to go over for the other one. There he is, and now we can just kind of keep him there for a few seconds, giving him time to get a comfortable grab of Mega without any real pressure. It was the pressure on the Mega that gave DaHanG a lot of his trouble in the earlier portion of this map. And now he's making sure that's not going to be repeating itself.
DaHanG's got less than 3 minutes to hold this lead, but it's